I have been asked a simple question for far too long. What bikes do you currently have in your fleet? After I was asked that again in my last video, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to take you guys on a tour of all the random bicycle frames and complete bicycles that I currently own in my possession. I think it's around 10. I probably need to start paring some down. Please guys, if you do like this kind of content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that little stuff helps. But let's just jump right in. I want to take you guys to where the bikes are actually located because I think it's going to be just a little bit more authentic instead of having some like giant spread of all my bikes. It's not like I have a collection, like I don't display them. I'm just a bit of a hoarder and I don't sell things, I don't throw stuff away, I just keep stuff. I don't know. So I currently have about 9 bicycles in my possession. But the first one is going to be directly on my left here. It is the Monde. This bike is the Monde, the Maillot, Jaune. This is a circa 99, I believe, 2000 model. This was actually my dad's bike and my first ever true road bike. Did all of my first group rides, cookie rides, everything on this bike. This is what got me into the endurance sport side of cycling. And I mainly use this bike on the trainer. I do still ride it outside occasionally because it's fun to be nostalgic, but it is one of those things, a bike that is at this point over 20 years old. The nostalgia starts to go away after about the first 30 miles and you remember how far road bikes have come since this thing. It does handle actually fairly well outside for the age of the bike. So let's move along to the next guy. There she is. The famous Pinarello Prince. So this beautiful bicycle right here was actually my dad's 40th birthday gift. It was a huge purchase whenever he did buy it, and then I believe whenever he turned 50, maybe? I can't remember exactly how long I've owned it, but it is now mine, and it is now broken. That's why I can't ride it. It actually broke. This was another one. After my TCR broke, I started riding this thing full time. This bike rode great being the age of it. It's not aero, so you can tell when the group ride hits like 27 to 30 miles an hour that this thing is a little bit slower than something like the newer TCR and all the bikes that have kind of gotten an aero element to them. But for the age of this thing, I think this is like a 2010-ish model. It still rode great. What actually happened when it broke, let me show you here, but the bottom bracket where it's bonded into the frame actually started coming apart and cracking. It was making a hell of a noise, and I looked down and I was able to flex the bottom bracket cups around the carbon frame, and then when you really start to look at it, there's cracks all around this area here. So it is now relegated to being a beautiful piece of wall art in the garage. So this is currently my road bike. Well, actually it's the shop's road bike. I'm just allowed to ride the thing, but I'm gonna count it as a part of my fleet. Basically, this is the giant TCR Advanced Pro 1. It's just full Ultegra. It's got the carbon wheels. The TCR is hands down my favorite road bike of all time. I don't know if you guys recently saw the whole article where they compared the brand spanking new Canyon, the Aero Road? It's their Aero road bike. They compared it to the TCR because the TCR is the oldest bike in the Pro Peloton as far as when it was released, this specific design. And the TCR was just as aero, and it's not even technically an aero bike, it just has aero features. So, I love this bike, hands down. So, here I have my Orbea Oiz. That is my main race bike, I guess you could say, for mountain biking, full suspension. I am gonna take these out of here and show you in some better lighting because it sucks in here. Right now I'm doing a wheel swap between my hardtail and my full suspension bike, so that's why the components are a little bit off. Also, I got hit in the nose this weekend. That's probably why I sound weird, a little nasally. I apologize. I love my Orbea Oiz, but I got a story to tell you about Orbea for another video. You all know about this. I've done numerous videos. I will link to it. Also, I did a video about the Niner that I own. I purchased this hardtail specifically because it's got a little bit more updated geometry, but still kind of racy. I have it as a single speed. Awesome, awesome bike. Now, let's take a look up here. This is my amazing Schwinn Homegrown that has had some parts sold off of it. I've got disc brake in the front here, rim brake in the rear. I'd like to put this bike back to like 100% stock, but it's very hard to find a suspension fork that is cantilever this day and age, unless you're buying, you know, a used one that's been ridden all to crap. I did a video on the Homegrown as well, link below. Schwinn Homegrown, this was my dad's bike. This was the last kind of nice bike that Schwinn made before they went officially bankrupt and then started being sold in Walmart and became just a box store bike. This is kind of a great little piece of history. Now, let's just move on to a bike that I am super excited to show you guys. This guy right here has not been ridden in a while, but I did recently sell my cross bike with the intentions of building this one back up. This is a super rare bike. I actually emailed Pinarello, or however the hell you say it. That is not mine right there. Don't, death trap, I wouldn't ride that. This thing, I think it's like a 90s, late 90s. I emailed Pinarello about it. They haven't gotten back with me. Don't know if they will. Basically, it doesn't actually even have a name on it anywhere, but it is an aluminum frame. This is aluminum, and it has a steel fork on it. And to my knowledge, what I could find, Pinarello only produced a bike with a steel fork and aluminum frame for a single year. The reason they did a steel fork was just because they were much stronger at the time versus the other materials that were available to them. I think this is such a cool bike. It's one of those things that's only cool because I know what it is. Nobody else knows what it is, so it's not like it's worth a ton of money or something. Maybe one day it will be. I love this thing, and I want to get it back to racing status where I could take it to the local cross races and have some fun on it. Next, let's move on to my pride and joy, the TCR here. This is my rim brake TCR that I absolutely adored. This is probably my favorite bike of all time that I've ever ridden on the road, that is. Got me a little piece of tape right here. This is the TCR Advanced SL. This was the climbing model, but I did put standard gearing on it because I didn't need anything that easy, but I needed some bigger gears. It has been out of commission for a while now. My little brother actually pulled a garage door on top of it and cracked the frame, so it is unrideable. And then, last but not least, we have Kayla's, I think this is her great aunt or great great aunt. This is the Raleigh Sprite. Comes with original paperwork. It was bought in, I think, the 60s maybe? One of those things that's not worth anything, but it's worth something to her because it was purchased by her great aunt, brand spanking new. Everything's original on it. It's just a cool bike to have. And there you have it, folks. There is the list of the bicycles that I technically currently own. If you would like to know anything about any of them individually, please leave a comment down below. I would love to do some videos on some of them specifically. Thinking about doing one on my restoration or resurrection of the Pinarello cross bike. So stay tuned, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.